Hello, everybody. It is Johan, the lovely little ink spirit here, back at the ladder with some standard mono white humans. You know, woke up, apparently am in a bit of a mood today, so for everyone's sake of chill, hopefully, that's not going to come through and I'm not going to be too weird and off-putting. But yeah, let's jump in, let's jam some games, let's have some fun. We successfully climbed from Platinum 4 to Platinum 3 yesterday. Hopefully we can keep that going. Ooh. Just want to make sure that untap.gg is in fact working, since it's given me a bit of a notification. Alright. I guess let's get into the game. We've got an Initiate, a Vanguard, and double Adeline. I think we can make this work. There we go. Untap GG is in fact working. Awesome. Sorry, opponent. Just making sure that everything is going a-okay. So, that's a white-black land, probably looking at either Esper Control or white-black life gain. I think we run out the Adeline and crack on in, possibly eating a cut down. No. So, temporary lockdown, get everything but our Adeline. Iris Beetle, making us discard. Okay. Quick game. So, some sort of white-black discardy shenanigans, I imagine. Maybe do some cute artifact things. Boom, boom, boom. Siva. Fighting against Okanek Ahau. Okay, again, a slightly awkward hand, but I like the Thalia. And I like the backup Thalia. Now, if we got another land, we've got an extraction specialist for the triple Thalia. Okay. So, either enchantments, or the Bant Toxic, most likely. Which I think Thalia is pretty good in both cases. Okay, absolutely enchantments. I think we smack in with both here. Pumps up the Initiate. Can't imagine they have a response. Alright, and then I think we run out the Skrelv, since we're not getting any value off the Specialist or the Adversary at the moment. I think being able to get big with the Adversary is going to prove quite important. Their own Skrelv. Might Battle. Our Thalia, for a lot of their things, probably serving as a sort of anti-naturalist. Okay. I think we're probably looking at just trying to get a full value Knight Errant here. I do like keeping the Thalia back on blocks, but I really want to be able to hit those 3 drops when we dig. Was not necessary, unfortunately, but we get to run out a second Initiate. I would also be totally happy to trade that Knight Errant for the Naturalist. Calyx. So they will connect, but if we kill their naturalist, then they won't actually have anything to copy, because the naturalist will be dead when the combat damage happens, and the audacity will be put in the graveyard. I don't think they'll have an opportunity, because state-based action, it should be removed. One damage. They certainly gain a lot of life. But yes, they have nothing to copy. So, I actually feel pretty good about that exchange. Another initiate. Well, Knight Errant we cannot get back. So I think we run out the initiate. And smack in with Thalia and the small initiate. Leaving up a Skrelv. We'd really love that land for the Intrepid Adversary, I think. Now, Calyx might be able to get in this turn, but we do have some blockers. And we now have active initiates, so that we can spend 3 mana next turn to blow up Calyx. So actually, that in mind, I think I will just run out an adversary so that we can keep it in check better if we need to. It feels bad, it feels awkward, but I think we just need the board presence. Thalia and no naturalist probably makes things a lot more awkward, since removal-wise, they're only going to have ossification for 3. Okay. I like the companion. Not to mention, Skrelv also makes it difficult to remove. That's a brushland, so they could still potentially have an audacity or the like. Skrelv can also force Calyx through, that is an option. But, okay. So they might get some good copy value here, get a doubled up Weaver. Alrighty, they are going for it. Skrelv pretty good against a monocolored deck. Yeah, it's got to be the second Weaver, right? Okay. I think we simply kill Calyx and pass. They might have another Calyx. The double Weaver is certainly scary. We are not in a great position, but we are not simply done for. If they do not have too much going on next turn, we should be able to smack in with the adversary and our initiates and blow some more counters to destroy the bigger Weaver. Triple Weaver. We are very choked on mana this game, which is most unfortunate. A brutal Cathar to eat a token, I think, would be ideal. Okay. I think we will... Yeah, I think we double block here to trade with the token, make the other things a bit smaller, get some lifelink. And we can extraction back either the Thalia or the adversary. Get some more lifelink out here. Although I suppose... Actually, that was not great because Skrelv can now just force through the required amount of damage. Yes, that, in fact, actually doomed us because we needed to be able to... No. We needed to block the companion as well. Did not think that far ahead. So, I will wrap that up. Missing things. I'm getting sloppy. Getting, I say, as if I have not been here my entire life. You can mute your opponents. I don't know, I like leaving it on, see who does salty spamming, see who's just nice and says hello. Obviously I enjoy interaction in the game, otherwise I wouldn't be streaming. Gwemegal. Gwemegal? Gwemegal. 10 out of 10 better service than Omegle, I imagine. This is Omegle slander. I have not actually... don't think I have ever used Omegle, actually. So, domain deck, just get some power on the board, and hopefully make things a little more awkward with Athalia. We'll swing in first. Now we would like fewer lands than we are drawing. That does seem to be the case with Magic, though. Syncopated. Unfortunate. Come on, 2-drop. That is not what we were hoping for. Still no anchorage, or other similar manland. If the officer gets to survive... Broker's Charm. Ooh, okay. Not expected. The officer gets to live, and we keep flooding. That will actually be kind of okay this next turn. Alright, we get an Adeline instead, which I think we do just play out. They might just be holding up Mirax, or this might be a Wandering Emperor, I'm guessing. I'm okay with a trade, and if they want to exile one of our 1-drops, I think we can make that work. Well, wouldn't you know? Much more terrifying for it to simply tick up, though we do have the ossification. Oh. Oh, that hurts. That blows chunks. We could get a no-value Knight Errant, but I think we just try and get rid of the Emperor, but... that's Sunfall, man. Why Screw tends to beat Flood. Ouch, my face. So delicate. Okay, I like the recruitment officer. Let's us go digging. And I think we actually dig on our turn, in case we get a 1-drop. Thalia or Guardian. Actually, I guess they both have Guardian in the name. Let's go with the Thalia, I think. Man, Sunfall is such a brutal card. Okay, Cavern, I like. Think we Thalia. And then try the Knight Errant. Actually, I suppose Thalia should not have been the Cavern. But, it looks like they're tapping out. Because happy to block with the Knight Errant, I think. Try and trade for the token. Although I'm sure that is exactly when we will get hit with a Wandering Emperor or another Wrath. So I think I will hold on to these cards for now, because I don't think the extra power helps us all that much. The single target removal protection from Vanguard could help, but I suspect it will be ultimately futile. Horned Lockwhale, terrifying. Brutal Cathar can help. Ward 2, you say? So we can manage that and a Vanguard. Yes, we do want to target. Okay, trading that off. And Wrath us again. Not instantly Wrathed. So what else do they have? No manlands. I think I try the Adversary. Make us big as possible. Hit for hopefully lethal with 2 creatures. They have a response. It might just be the Mirex. So that would put it to a 4 and a 3, so we need to do 1 more to have 2 creatures be lethal. Mix and match, your choice. Hullbreaker Horror. Well, if they don't have anything else, yeah, we still hit on through for lethal. Woo! That was a scary, scary control deck with a well-timed Sunfall. But we're alive. I'm breathing on the other side. I really do need to play control at some point so I can get a better feel for what's going on. And man, that Hullbreaker, all they needed was 1 other spell. It could have been anything. Bounce the other creature. Whew. Okay. Recruitment Officer into no value Adversary, but then followed up by an Adeline. I like quite much. And who knows, maybe we draw a 2-drop or happier to play on too. Mono Red. Well, Adeline should be nice in that situation. Ossification, not the 2-drop we want to play, but not bad to have on hand. We're against Rowdy, which sounds a bit like Rowdy, and so appropriate that they'd be playing Mono Red. Swift Spear and Play with Fire? Yeah. Get that life. Okay. Play out our Adeline, get some replacement creature tokens, and a big Vigilance. Although, probably don't block, because I'm very afraid of a Monstrous Rage. Though they might Witch Stalker Frenzy. Now it's the Witch Doctor Frenzy. Alright. Okay. Probably Initiate and then Ossify the Swift Spear. I do like playing out the Thalia, but it makes the ossification more expensive. Whereas we might be able to Thalia and Knight Errant next turn. And I think we get rid of the Swift Spear since it's got a much higher damage potential. And let's smack in for one, leave back the option to trade with the etchings. What is my little pet biting at? Felden, okay. Pop off that trade, even though it means we don't get to Knight Errant for full value next turn. Actually, we do, because we draw the land? Yes. Yes! We won't really be able to block the Felden without digging them pretty deep, but that might be worthwhile. I loved the Brutal Cathar, and the Adversary. I really gotta not abbreviate things like that, since it's like there's a lot of similar naming conventions. 2 Guardians, not Knight Errants, but we've got several Cathars. I think we are safer not blocking. And then we can, as much as I would like to get the Adversary out, I think we just want to get the Brutal Cathar down, eat the Felden. And then I think we can afford to swing in with the Thalia. The Knight Errant is a lot more damage. So let's leave back Thalia because she fairly effectively blocks most stuff. We can jump with the 1/1, and this way we hit in for 6 and grow our Initiate. And this sets us up for a lethal next turn, so that hopefully we can dodge Flying Godric if they play that out. They do have 4 cards in hand, which is frightening. Okay. Make a 3/3. And I think we will have to block because of the possibility of Monstrous Rage, but they scoop it on up. Whew. I had fun. I end up making a whew noise at the end, usually means that I was thinking and having quite a bit of fun the entire time. Keeping my mind engaged. Pedro K. Pedroke. Okay. Not a great hand. So I think I will mulligan because we don't have a 2-drop we really want to play. This one I like a lot better. But what do I ship off? Probably the land, which I know is greedy, but we can. I don't want to pitch the Knight Errant, and the Brutal Cathar can help out quite a bit. Interesting. Well, that's a good blocker. I don't want to run out the Intrepid Adversary for no value, so I think we just play the Initiate and hold and hope to go wide, and we can Cathar any big threat they hopefully play. Fabrication Foundry, so this is an artifact deck. Exile 1 or more other artifacts you control. Okay. So kind of not quite as broken welder type effect, because it gets exiled, so you can't just loop them over and over. Clear out the blocker. Because, yeah, the exile is only on the craft ability. Thousand Moons Smithy. So I think we take this turn off and go diggin' with the Knight Errant, as we are not able to hit on through. Get a Thalia and a second Intrepid Adversary. I think that's quite nice. We'll run out the Thalia, hopefully tax some of their artifacts a little bit. I am concerned about an unstable Glyph Bridge. Okay. We can ossify their token. Which I think we do to prevent the Smithy flip. We hold back on the adversary. This actually is nice because it will help our adversaries. We have a use for it. And we hit in with the Knight Errant and the Initiate, because the Initiate will grow and the Knight Errant can get through. Or they will simply sacrifice it, because we're now, I feel, almost guaranteed walking into a Glyph Bridge. We can use the Initiate to blow up their smithy in response, though. Depopulate. Not as flavorful. And they will be getting back their Market Gnome. Quite sad. But we do get to follow it up with a double-pumped adversary, which we will then be able to follow up with another double-pumped, possibly even triple-pumped adversary. Oh, there's that Glyph Bridge. Control deck, I might actually have the pieces to pull together. That Glyph Bridge is going to get quite annoying. Oh my goodness. That is heinous. 3 sweepers in subsequent turns. Ouch. Glasket. I think it's probably over, but, you know, we could always pull a recruiter and go digging. Flip the Glyph Bridge. Yep. With the Initiate, yeah, I don't think we've got anything that's gonna get us out of that, so we will scoop it on up. Man. First one was pretty brutal, but we were able to rebuild. The second one, still really brutal, but we had a rebuild. And then the third. Okay. Barche? I hope Barche. Barse sounds, I don't know, like puce. Sleeping little automaton. Is Yosha a conjugation of yeet? Because yeet to have Yot, Yosha. So are we going to get Yoshined? This has been modern linguistics done poorly with Johann the Ink Spirit. Okay. Cut down the Thalia for 2. No. We'll play out our Guardian with the option to discard. Is it a counterspell? No, it's a Malcolm. Malcolm. Love when names are just names that you've probably met before. It's like the guy at the water cooler. I'm getting murdered by Malcolm from accounting. Okay, no go for the throat. I like the brutal Cathar. I think I'm going to attack and enlist. So that we get the scry. They may have a kill or exile. They are countering the ability. Counter the scry or making it a 4-2. Countering the scry. Ah, and it loses all abilities, so no option there. Neat, neat. Let's run out the adversary, I think. Make next turn a little more threatening. Smacking in with Malcolm. Malcolm. Getting rid of Thalia. Alrighty. Then go for the throat. No. Well, I think we swing in and then try to Cathar the Malcolm. There's to go for the throat. Then let's get brutal. Schooner. They could Malcolm and crew, which I am certainly afraid of, so I think we actually just hold back Thalia and run out one of our Knight Errants and refill with 2 drops, hopefully. Or is it a Tidebinder? It's a Tidebinder. So certainly glad we didn't attack. Oh, and our other Knight Errant. How rude. Unsporting. Okay. I think we want to just hold back the ability to block with the Knight Errant. And that's the only one that could attack, so we just flip the Brutal Cathar. Oh, I suppose I could attack because we can double block with First Strike. That is not a bad option. So I think I shall do exactly that, and hold on to the Hopeful Initiate to increase our chances of being able to double spell. Double block. Makes sense. I think we kill the Schooner. They... waiting for the crew. There we go. Pious. The damage in the air is most upsetting, but we will get to double initiate. I think let's get cheeky and attack with Thalia. Want to hold back the brute. Run out the initiates, and I think probably kill the bat, if possible. I'm going to kill... No! Oh, no. Awful. How dare they have answers. Oh, we can double block there. Ugh. That hurt. Very sad. But at least it's a very nice little battlefield. Recruitment officer to dig. We might have a chance to live one more turn. We aren't going to be able to block. So, crack on in. Train up the initiate. I mean, one more 2-power flash flyer and we're dead. Okay. That will not fix things, but... they get more draw power. Yeesh. Is there anything we've got that would be able to save us? A second Cathar? No. Still isn't enough. And a Shieldred on top. Unfortunate. Especially since they get to play it. Alrighty. Dun dun dun. Just need to get on our heater. Okay, Arno 2. Officer Vanguard. Alright. We'll give it a try. Ooh. This seems very Phyrexian, very full of teeth. I like that we get to see the bear sitting up there. Don't know if we normally get to, or if that's because of all of the weird transparency stuff with Unity. I've never really paid that much attention. Mono B. You've been played with, toyed with. My heart. Well, hopefully that just means they don't have the play for the Vanguard. It's a chick. Kentucky Fried Phoenix. Not getting the land there is most unfortunate. But you make do with what you got. Okay, we've been struck. You've been thunderstruck. No blocks. Not a land. Come on, let us flood a bit. The Forge. I do want to play with Forge. The Forge seems fun and goofy. Not loving that. I think we need to hold it back as a blocker. The 3-1. Godric. And the Forge will help proc him. Nope. There's that land. Probably too little too late. But you can steal the Godric. And cry about the Forge. Oh, okay. That's game. This token comes down. Ugh. 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 Back down to lower than we started. Always feels bad. But you keep playing, you keep trying to have fun. You go on streaks where you lose and when you win. Lucapal 93. Lucapal, perhaps. Need to keep practicing reading names. Turn to Thalia. I don't like not having the third lands, but I don't think last game is representative. Ooh, load to the ground, blue artifact stuff. Apologies. Let me see if I can mute myself. I'm about to sneeze. Alright. Think we managed to counterspell that. I do need to figure out a better microphone than just my headset, so you can better hear the dulcet tones of this little ink spirit. Oh no, are we just getting ninjutsu'd? Is this just ninjas? Or do they play that because it lets them animate it with a zoetic glyph and the like? Thalia might be able to tax them if they aren't a ninja-only deck. Okay. Okay, so that is why they play it. Alright. Do we get down Adeline, or do we just ossify this turn? I think we need to try to ossify this turn. And I think we ossify the retrofitter rather than the token. Okay. This will let us Adeline and Skrelv, though I suspect we are going to get countered. No. Then let us try hitting with Thalia, get some little 1/1s going. Well, they have some sort of combat trick, so perhaps we hold off. Run out the Skrelv. What's going on, sir, or madame, or themst? Bounce? Okay. High speed hover bike. Tap some stuff down. Ninjutsu. Okay. We are in a precarious position. I think we need to run out some lifelink and protection. It is sad to play the adversary as simply that. We will decline, and then I think we run out the Vanguard to give ward, and then we're leaving up a Skrull without having to pay life. So we've got some stuff fairly well protected, so that hopefully we can survive a turn. The hoverbike is an issue. Tapping the planes. In that case, I will tap Skrull now. And I will protect the adversary from blue. Because we really need the adversary to stick on the board this turn for the lifelink. If we don't get to block, we need to attack with it. Okay. So, I like Adeline because she's a good blocker, but I think we try to Brutal Cathar something, and then sneak through with the adversary. Let us Cathar the hacker, because it is the smaller threat. And I'm more okay with trading with adversary, because I don't think we can afford to Skrelv before combat. Oh no, it's colorless. Cannot protect from it. And they can pay the ward. Because it is hexproof from that color. That will indeed be the end of us. Alright. Unfortunate. Big ol' losing streak back down to 4. But must keep up the morale. It's a very interesting experience, trying to talk to a chat that is empty. Hinoe Tora. Like, I'm excited to be doing this for other people. I'm excited to be doing this for me. I have fun playing Magic. But trying to comment on things without an audience to riff off of can be quite difficult. I think we will mulligan this. This is maybe a little better. But I think we ditch an initiate, make sure that we can cast our 3 drops. Funnily enough, a while back I was in a situation where I was chosen to be the representative for a group of folks at a somewhat official meeting type deal. And I did not feel comfortable being the only person there representing a bunch of people who I didn't actually talk with all that much. So to make myself a little more comfortable with that, so that I wasn't the only one speaking for them, folded a little finger puppet, which I named Steve, who looks quite silly, and has managed to survive quite a few years. So, need to figure out some sort of Steve equivalency for streaming to folks, until more of you hop in and say hi. We'll get there. It's a process. I'm learning lots, I'm having fun, and I'm beating face with mono white humans. Send it on in. They probably have something, but I'm okay trading the adversary here. Cyber Cryptomancer. And nothing on our turn. Depopulate? No. Some sort of boggles. If they're willing to attack in, I'm not willing to block with Adeline. It's just got hexproof. Yeesh. Homestead Courage is a sorcery. I'm willing to try it on the attack with Adeline and the Initiate, I think. I'll send in with the token, since there will be another one anyway. Actually, screw it. Let's just send with everything. If they kill anything other than Adeline, I'm happy. And if they do kill Adeline, at least we get through with the other things, I imagine. That is my supposition. Alright, make it big. It has been so long since I've played against a creature that has simply straight up hexproof. I forgot just how annoying it is. So probably should have played Cathar first, pumped her up, but I think we just need to be going wide. Wanted to be able to mop up a creature if they played a second one, but yeah, like it would have been nice to clean up the Drake, but oh, so many lands. Well, I could try attacking with everything. And it would not be enough, though we would trade for the Drake most likely, but I will hold off and hopefully get a better opportunity. The Brute does also help limit their aggressiveness a little bit, because they don't probably want to play two things on their turn and flip it. Let us try ossifying the Drake. I'm sure they've got hexproof or slip out the back or something. But slip out the back reduces the number of blockers, so that I feel comfortable cracking on in. Zoom zoom, beep beep. What have you got, opponent? Second blocker. But we do still have 5 damage. Do you have anything else? A little surprised that they didn't use the Cryptomancer to give the Drake hexproof. Okay, bounce something. Lifelink. Okay. That does, in fact, do it there. Okay, recruitment officer, pretty darn sweet. Let's dig now, see what we get. I think we actually prefer the adversary to pump up the team for some more damage. We will pass this turn, because the Brittle Cathar, I'm guessing they'll be able to avoid the removal, whereas the adversary is going to turn any 2 of our creatures into a lethal threat. Which sounds like a great name for an action movie. Play the land, and we can potentially pop everything up +3/+3. Hey, I mean, if this is a March of Swirling Mist, we're sad. But show me what you got. You have 3 creatures that you basically you have to deal with at least 4 creatures. So, does your 1 card help you deal with 2 more? Because even lifelink isn't going to. Okay, cute but still lethal. Phasing out my Anthem. Sometimes I forget that Slip Out the Back does indeed also work for the opponent's creatures. Versatile little card. Hella Smells. Well, I imagine that if you're constantly on fire, would probably result in quite a bit of sweat. Okay. A little awkward, but we can hopefully fix things up with the Knight Errants. You love these sleeves, makes me think of the Grateful Dead. Okay. Jund or one of the domain ones. Crack on in. I think we just lay out the adversary for now. Because then next turn we can Hopeful Initiate and do a Knight Errant. Although maybe we really want the damage. But I think we can take a turn off, restock. Well, we've pretty much for sure got the opportunity. I think we want the Guardian and a second Initiate. Alright. I like getting down the Guardian at some point, but I think for now we just swing in and leave up our options. Leyline on the Knight Errant, I imagine. But Hopeful Initiate does provide us some options for getting that back. And I think we play that out, and we leave the Hopeful Initiate so that we can discard it for Indestructible, if necessary. Topiary Stomper, we can cope with that. Pass the turn. I like the land. I think we're going to be cracking with pretty much everything, and then after combat, just leaving up the opportunity to blow up the binding. We will enlist with Guardian on our recruitment officer, and then attack with the adversary and our initiates to get them counters. Leyline Binding. On our Guardian, I think. Oh, because those counters haven't triggered yet? Okay. I like both of these cards. I think we probably want the Vanguard before the Adversary. Maximizes our mana. Then we will swing in for all that damage. And we will save the counters until we absolutely need them. Because if they do Wrath here, we do up the Beanstalk. If they don't... No, different kind of Wrath. Not what I meant. Okay, hitting both of those. We will get back our knight errant. Yes, our knight errant. Yeah, that doesn't do a whole lot there. Oh, that does ruin the Scrya, unfortunately. Well, we can hopeful initiate and play out a knight errant. Actually, we should probably tap all of our initiates first. Do we do it with... Hey! Howdy, Calypso. It's going pretty decently. Been jamming some mono white humans, been mostly down on the day, but having some fun, trying to do some good stuff with them. How about yourself? How's it going? Probably the best part of the... well, it's a decent part of the day, but I guess going to sleep is oftentimes a better feeling one. Man, lots of wraths today. Dun dun dun. Was feeling good, they kept doing single target removal, and I overextended. And there's Atraxa. Probably gonna... Oh, absolutely! I was like, oh, yeah, I should actually go check it out so that I can pop into one of the GTA 5 roleplay streams when those come up. I think we'll wrap that up. Dun dun dun. Totally fair. I understand that quite a bit. Rukusu. It's part of why I'm streaming is because it helps me get up and get moving, even when I don't feel like doing stuff. But sometimes that's not enough to get going. Teething wormlet. Hello. Current conductor. As opposed to the previous one. But crash. I think we just ossify that. Let ourselves smack on in. This schooner. Scoot, scoot. Well, fortunately it's tapped. Cathar the Wormlet? Which land? The coast or ossifying onto the plains? Using ossification, it's basically just tying... Oh, coast. It's one of the pain lands. It's taps for a colorless normally, but you can also tap it for one of two colors, but you take a ping. So, good way to be untapped, or good way to get the colors you need immediately, just with the bit of downside of life, but hey, if you're doing something like Explorer or Timeless and play Death's Shadow or one of those other good old creatures that gets bigger the lower your life total, it's almost an upside. Okay. Got some big scary brutes. And so I think I'll do the Adversary, since the Vanguard does not pump them. Oh! Howdy, Cholera. My gosh. We've actually got 2 people watching at the same time. How's it going? Gin of the Fountain. Oh, nice! Watch anything that was enjoyable? I imagine the production quality of anything is going to be better than watching what I'm doing here. The Willy Wonka flick. I'm not familiar. I have not been keeping up with what movies have come out. I think the only reason that I knew both Oppenheimer and Barbie happened was because the internet was talking about them every corner. The Beekeeper? Things that I'm going to need to check out. I assume Beekeeper isn't just going to be about beekeeping, which, while that would be up my alley, I imagine it doesn't hold other people's attention as well. Jason Statham. I feel like I've heard that in association with action stuff. With that Thalia, only 2 ossifications, so mostly good. Not doing too many self-taxing dealios. Oh, Fast and Furious, okay. I think I've watched one of those, so if you keep watching me and talking about movies and media, you will quickly find that I am terrible at remembering the names of actors. I know a couple of the ones from original Star Trek, because that's what I grew up with, and then, like, a couple of the folks from Walking Dead, because I watched way too much of that. Everything else, I just know them by the character itself. Okay, Hopeful Initiate, and Extraction Specialist for no value, but lets us climb up with the Initiate. Star Wars is better? Hey, I think Star Wars is also quite good. I've gotten quite into looking at some of the extended universe stuff, but I'm a sucker for optimistic science fiction talking about what humanity can do without as much of the space wizardry. But don't get me wrong, I love the space wizardry. Gotcha. I have only watched like 2 episodes of Next Gen. I need to sit down and do it, but could not stand Picard for some reason. Red Dwarf! Yes! I don't know how Twitch feels about the word smeg, but yeah. We love it. Good old Lister and Rimmer. Cat's impeccable sense of fashion. I don't remember if I actually finished that out. That was so long ago that I watched it. There's the sunfall. Been running into a whole lot of control today. I've been enjoying the mono white humans a lot more than the Bant Toxic for aggro matchups, but when it comes to dealing with control, there's not the same burst potential for getting out of a sticky situation. Do we get to land an adversary? Perhaps. I like to have a little variety. They saw the line. At some point, I do want to build my collection into some sort of blue-white control, because I have never played it in my life. And considering how often I play against it, know thy enemy and all that. Although I have run into a sort of more artifact-heavy version of the deck a few times, doing stuff with like Unstable Glyph Bridge, which, I don't know, seems more up my alley. I feel slightly less crushed when playing against that, because at least my spells normally resolve first. The Deluge. Ooh, yeah. Don't know if you watch any MTG Goldfish Saffron Olive on YouTube, but I was watching him the other day do a Rhystic Studies and Thalia deck, and just, it was, yeah, Blood Moon will certainly get you with that, but, oh man, people did not know how to pay the one for Rhystic Study. So, I think some blue-white stacks in Timeless certainly has legs. Or, you can just go full Instano style and do blue-white. It's only 2 colors. I mean, do you really need non-basic lands? Just survive purely on plains and islands. You got this. In the sideboard, and there was at least one match where he was playing against like a Rakdos Death Shadow that Chalice on 1. I think they only played one spell that wasn't looped with Luris for the rest of the game, so good old Chalice. Hate Mildex. Yeah, I gotta be in a particular mood. I enjoy, like, Combo Mill. Because, look, I'm a degenerate who enjoys Storm. I like things that pop off and where I'm playing Magic, and the opponent is playing a separate game that is not the same one I'm playing. Ugh, the Emperor. Probably wrap this one up. But yeah, the sort of slow grinding down. The Blue Unearth Robot Mill deck. Oh, with like the Talarian Mindbreaker? Okay. I do find this funny. No, don't need that. Yeah, there's a couple of decks that, yeah. Oh, Teresian. Oh, I only have one. Did not realize I only had one card left in, Well, on the bright side, I was able to tell it was not, in fact, a Plains. Pretty quick. No, used a lot of my wild cards on this and did not play enough Rivals to really build up all that many packs or much of a collection, but the Squirming Emergence combo that's using the I want to say Omniscience. It's not the Omniscience, but the Omniscience alike that lets you cast stuff from the top of your deck and play one thing for free each turn. That looks fun, especially because it's playing all of those, like, fake Tarmogoyfs. One with the multiverse. Yes, exactly. Thank you. That one, you know, I enjoy big Timmy stuff. Just let me play my, 10 mana blue enchantment that lets me cheat. Okay. Officer. Ancestral Anger. That's... I do like that replaces itself for Mono Red. Oh, they're playing it with Monstrous Rage? Okay. I was going to say, I think Monstrous Rage is generally better, but why not both? Does feel a little weird to just be fighting Dad, but what can you do? Okay. Godric gets to meet my brutal Cathar. I keep wanting to say just Cathar, but since we also have Adeline, doesn't really work. Alright. Got fired. I don't have anything tracking it at the moment. But I think I'm currently probably like a little bit over 50% with it. Not doing swimmingly. Saw a cheesy deck that squeezed out one with a multiverse on turn 3 with Abuelo's Awakening, making it a creature. Oh. Oh. That sounds disgusting in a very fun way. Have to take the check. Cannot afford to attack. We're probably dead. Actually, we are just dead because of the Wicked token. But yeah, I went from gold 1 up to platinum with a, I think, 4-1 record. And then I've only been playing this deck since hitting platinum, so obviously slightly positive, but not doing astoundingly. That said, I have been making a lot of mistakes with it, running into a lot of control, so not exactly putting in its best showing. And I'm looking at hands like this and going, it's probably fine, Officer into Thalia, and figure it out. I think in a lot of ways, this deck feels like the equivalent of Explorer Angels to me, in that it is more powerful than a lot of the other aggressive decks out there, but does not have the same resilience as some of them, because it relies so heavily on dumping out board presence. Okay, like Thalia holding down the fort. Recruitment officer is important for us, so I think we just sit tidy and are happy that we are keeping Mono Red busy for at least a turn. 3 mana Lightning Strike, we can handle that. I want to keep the officer because we absolutely need to dig here. Yeah. We'll leave up Aiganjo for now. We can attack with the officer. I want to leave up Skrelv to protect it. Oh my goodness, Mechanized Warfare. We might just... I think we just... Aiganjo stop some damage. Ossification, deal with the other one. Unfortunately, cannot dig and do that, but... They haven't been playing other creatures, so... Warcrafting, okay. Not going to bother giving protection from red. I guess I could have in case they play with fire here. Phew. We can Skrelv and then Knight Errant for 2, which is not where you want to be. Or we can Knight Errant for 1, which is very much not where you want to be. Okay. Would have liked the adversary, but sometimes you see the big orange button, and you click. Adversary getting back Bolt? I guess Warcrafting is... it's 3 or less? Yeah. But I guess Lightning Strike is enough. Dig? Auto Tapper does go burr. We could play out Adversary just as a 3-1 with lifelink, which we probably need to do. I think there's a reasonable chance that they burn it, but Adeline's too slow, and holding up for the buffage I don't think is what we need. Gonna try attacking. Probably a mistake, but I want to try and kill them sooner rather than later. Oh, and the Raiju. That is not quite game, because we do... no, it is exactly, because they deal 8, we gain 3. Ugh. Alright. Oh, what was I saying about, being more powerful than a lot of the other aggro decks in the format? Here I am streaming just to shove my foot in my mouth. I say as a small little ink blob that has neither a foot nor a mouth, so take that for what you will. Kabe Wolf. Evening Officer. And Double Cathar. Not ideal, but apply some early pressure, got some backup. Like the second 1-drop. I do feel like I need to go watch some very good players, and specifically watch for how they mulligan. Now, I've talked about that before, but I think mulligans are my weakest thing. Well, you know, I don't think the ink is going to taste much better or worse than normal ones, so that be incumbent upon you. Maybe I'm made of that good old classic iron gall or oak gall ink stuff that was often used in like British records that unfortunately eats through the very pages that you're writing on. There's a lot of old documents that have not been preserved very well. My words so cleverly turned against me. Okay, frontliner. Azoria Soldiers. I hear it's a fun deck to play. Surge Engine? Gotta play the fun, goofy cards. Oh, Surge of Salvation. Not figuring out what that one is off the top of my head, but I will check it out in just a moment. Surge of Salvation. Oh, wow, a black-red hate card. Goofy. Am I willing to trade my stuff for just a token? This needs to be 5 or more soldiers. I think I can hold off. I think they've successfully made me nervous about their wall of 1/1s. We get to go into Cathar Wars. Well, I happened to hear that you seem to enjoy brutal Cathars, so I thought I'd bring my own. Unfortunately, that Harbin is going to get quite scary. Especially with the veteran. That be the game. I guess I probably should have tucked Harbin there. I just got very laser focused on fixing my own game plan. Wonderful examples of me not being all that good sometimes. It's funny, I do find myself tending to play better in Limited. I think partially just because I'm using resources to be in those games. But we'll also see. Streaming does take some of my mental processing, so... Alpha Dookie. Delightful. Hopefully means that's in the shape of something from the alphabet. Skrelv? It's just like I'm playing my Toxic deck. Alright. Yeah, we'll smack in. There's the part of me that goes, aw, come on, why does Thalia have to be legendary? And yet... I don't know Yu-Gi-Oh! Very well, but I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Well enough to get the joke. That is lovely. Yeah, playing super situational cards and just getting someone. Awesome. Just get them. Play out the Ossifer. Be very afraid of a depopulate. Actually, no. You know what I bet this is? This is a Wandering Emperor. Wrong. Faithful Mending. But yeah, no, the Surge of Salvation against children and whatnot, that sounds like that's gotta be such a good feeling. Imagine it was probably similar playing Boyle or whatnot way back when and running into a... It was Anti-Islands, I think. Hexproof for you and all your permanents. I know there's a couple of things like that, but I might just be thinking of like Kaladesh has the heroic intervention and whatnot, and I might be spoiled. But yeah. Let's try the Adeline. If only Hexproof worked against Wraths. Give us more ways to deal with Wrath than not simply going and playing our own counter spells or being in blue. Heroic... I know it's only for creatures, but I thought Heroic Intervention was indestructible and hexproof. And 2 mana. Am I thinking of the wrong card? It's like the Ajani. Okay. But yeah, that's Aether Revolt, so not going to be it for standard. Well, that just feels like a Wrath incoming. Ah, no, okay. Give first strike and trade for the Thalia. No, Heroic Intervention is pretty good, but yeah, being able to just go, oh, you want to remove things? How about no for a turn? It feels nice. Are there many situations where you're getting a 2-for-1 with it? Because I imagine they typically just respond with a second removal spell if they've got it. I guess if you're playing against Rakdos and get to absolutely murder Shieldred. Unfortunately not. I could have done that for attacking in, but it's hexproof from white, not protection. And can't be blocked. So I could have prevented her from getting blocked. I felt comfortable swinging in with her. I should have read the Emperor. But I was okay with them potentially trying to trade stuff. So I could ossify the Emperor, but I think this deck almost certainly runs Farewell. So I think what I do is I ossify the token, swing in for 3 at the Emperor. Yes, exactly. It is not quite as good. Because it turns out protection, very powerful. So, kinda like with Hexproof. Yeah. I've been playing with a lot of it, so unfortunately, very familiar with that bit of it. They are going to be able to Anchorage. But I think I Skrelv paying 2 life on the Emperor, or on the Officer. Give it pro-white, since I think that's the most likely interaction they've got, and should save it from the Anchorage, and then we can just smack in with Adeline. But yeah, no, hexproof and protection, very, very, very powerful stuff, hence why they've been doing a lot less of just, you know, slapping it on a creature. That was playing against a Cybo Cryptomancer that just has hexproof and was getting loaded up in a sort of Boggle-style deck. Man, I forgot how frustrating that is. I'm so used to Ward having something to work towards to, you know, have an option to interact. If they... Okay, I guess they could Farewell this turn, or Sunfall. They've got quite a few options. Horned Lock Whale? Question mark? Right? Well, let's Skrelv for life, because I don't think that's our most important resource. See if we can get white to stick. Okay. If it is a Lock Whale, it's going to be tapped. Do I... The adventure on it is for bouncing it. I was thinking about them playing it out, but it's going to be tapped if they do it as a creature. I think I do try and slam the adversary and just see if I can kill them this turn. Okay. Oh, okay. Whatever they had couldn't deal with the Anthem. Man, I am so looking forward to Markov Manor, because I'm still feeling like I'm playing catch-up with some of the other sets, so having a set come out and still be new to most folks, so that at least they're also getting a little confused sometimes, feel real nice. 5 lands. I don't think we hardly ever want to see 5 lands in a game in this deck, so we'll ship that off. Keep this. So like, this I think is a great example of where I am terrible with mulligans, because my instinct is to ditch the plains and coast on our 1 and 2 drops and probably just draw the land, but I could also ditch an initiate, I think. I think I'm gonna gamble on ditching the land, but yeah, that's a choice I don't know. Oh, got a Markov Manor pre-release kit? Awesome. Yeah, I haven't done in-person Magic in a while, but pre-releases are always fun, and the kits are also just great to crack open. That's going to kind of sort of try and relive it, bought the Alquist Prof play bundle so that I can justify doing a sealed. But on Tuesday, when it drops, I'll be on here jamming sealed and draft from about 4 hours. Got it actually set up a streaming schedule, so if you guys want to take a look. But yeah, just jam a bunch of games, have some fun with it. See how poorly I do, remembering that, oh hey, yeah, those things have ward. I'm gonna leave back 1 initiate. It's last week, I after one of my streams when there was literally no one watching, popped over and found someone else who had no one looking at what he's doing, and chatted a little bit because apparently fairly new to Magic, and trying to convince him that, hey, you know, pre-release is coming up. If you're looking at doing some in-person stuff, hop on in. It's a great time because no one else knows what's going on, so usually a much more friendly environment for it. The Deluge. Generally positively. We'll hopefully get to find out. White Puffin 77, lovely bloke. Hasn't streamed in about a week, so don't know whether or not he sprang for it, but hopefully he did, and hopefully he gets to have some fun. I'm just... I want to play stuff out, but it's gotta be a Wrath, right? I could have Knight Erranted, but at least now we've gotten them potentially on lethal. Yeah, I know, I'm so nervous. I'm hoping that they're cut on white is why we haven't seen it. I will bet you good money that's what happened. Is they... Oh, man. Yeah, the inclusion of utility lands in, like, a 2-color control deck, I get why they need to, because they need to have options for dealing with stuff like Mirex, but it feels like it would bite you in the butt more often than it would help. But again, I don't play it much, so dunno. Long wait time. A fig. A fig? Yes. Well, you know, it seemed appropriate for a deck full of, you know, very, very military-esque soldiers. Many of whom are very much not men, but feel like they could quote-unquote bro out. Crack open a cold one with Thalia. That said, she'd probably ask for like a third of it as tax. Hey, my one-off cavern. Thalia, the red deck. Well done. Awesome. Adeline. There's so many magic cards where it's a name that I have no clue how to pronounce. Which is probably bad because I imagine that there are people actually named the same thing. And I'm simply just unaware and trying to go, oh, it's kind of like Madeline. I mean, that's a monstrous rage, right? It's a 2-mana monstrous rage. But yeah, no, he's like a cool artificer that I don't remember all of his story stuff because I have not read a whole bunch of the old Dominaria things, but he's not... Yeah, he's not... I remember when he got printed, I was surprised that he was a mono red can only attack. I don't know a huge amount about what he does have going for him, but it did not feel correct to what I was aware of. So Igonjo only costs 1 white because I have both Thalia and Adeline. So I think I try and take care of Felden and just hold up Igonjo. Probably leave back the 1/1, honestly. Really make sure that we've got blockers. Because I'm guessing by the set, almost assuredly he was around the same time as Urza and Mishra. Did he have anything to do with the Weatherlight? I've read the book The Thran that talks about I think I blast the chick with the counter so that they can't monstrous rage to get the second boost. Oh, actually that's a wicked roll, but I guess that's still I've read the novel that's The Thran and talks about like Yawgmoth's rise to power. And then I've just got like a huge gap until we pick up with like Khans of Tarkir and like Return to Ravnica and some of the more modern sets. Initiate. Tap Initiate and the tokens. They could return the chick with the counter. But if that's all they're doing, I think I'm kind of okay with it. Yeah. I guess it would have gotten rid of the wicked roll in general. That's a fair point. I guess we just run out the recruitment officer, maximize damage, Kraken with Adeline. Like, at the very least, if they're returning chick, they probably aren't doing anything with Godric. And with those blocks, oh no, because they do get that flipped. I mean, we're not doing swimmingly. Okay. Block. Probably double block there, in case if they do monstrous, at least we've got a way that we're still killing it and not taking all that damage. Monstrous would let them kill both? I think I block like this. So then if they monstrous, I take 3, 7. And then I get to crack back for lethal. Now, if they don't have monstrous, we're just fine with that. Okay. Strike not going to fit my face. Play out the Vanguard. Watch my humans grow. No, very fair point about the Phoenix chick. It very rarely happens for me when I play Mono Red, and I forget that it actually has that extra line of text. It's an actual Phoenix. What are my dailies? Blue or black? Probably go another 20-ish minutes trying to do things for about like 2 hours of magic in the mornings, and then do 2 hours of other more general stuff later. Yep. Gotta try and remind ourselves of all the things. Cards have so many lines of text these days. I mean, man, Questing Beast is basically a novel, as I've heard folks say. I think I'm gonna run a little bit of Mono Black. Finish things up, try and actually get some quest progress. Because remember, on Tuesday, when it becomes Markov Manor, you get a reset on all of your quests, so try and have them cleared out for that extra, 1,500 gold. Oh, Golas, the, pilgrim? Yeah. Yeah. That's just, they all do so much. I didn't even realize that Questing Beast, prevented, or made it so that combat damage from your creatures couldn't be prevented until I was running it in like an Explorer Stompy deck against someone who had the 9 life Solemnity combo. And I attacked out of frustration and it actually killed them. I went, oh, that's cool, neat. Don't know why it needed that extra line, but sick. I'm looking, I got a Priest of, or the 2/4 Death Toucher. Priest of the Schism? Preacher of the Schism. That's the... Zoomed right past it. There we go. Think we can probably ditch one of our Henricas, or maybe the Revenant. I think we'll ditch a Henrica. With this absolute atrocity of a mono black deck. I think that overall, Magic does an incredible job of not being too bad with power creep. Like, there are a lot of creatures from a while ago, there are a lot of spells from a while ago, which are still passable. You can still play them today. Yeah, not really. Again, have not been playing an awful lot for the past, like, 6 months to a year. Kind of played a whole bunch of Capenna, and then very spotty, so... running with some mighty awkward options for Constructed. Because I didn't play enough Limited. We'll give this a shot. But yeah, I think overall, decent job of dealing with power creep, but, I mean, look, it's certainly gotten better. We've got, you know, a 2-mana 3/3 that... Oh yeah, no, I love this style, the Japanese ukiyo-e, because I love the woodblock prints in general. I think the art style is gorgeous, and I particularly love the history of them basically being this mass-producible, well, it's a print, so it was cheap art. It's something that I do want to play around with actually producing a couple of myself. I've played around a little bit with, like, metal etching. I have not done anywhere near as much, woodwork, but got a couple of projects I think would be fun to do for some friends. Vidane's Recruiter can be quite scary. Knight Errant lets them dig themselves out of stuff, though, so... Beastie Boys. Graveyard Trespassers, I think, just get a body that can block and save the removal for a more efficient turn. Oh, right. I hate that it doesn't show it in the graveyard, but that's actually pretty decent value. But yeah, no, I love the art style that they're built on. Got to see a lovely exhibit of a bunch of that art last year, which was so fun. And yeah, I bought them almost exclusively for the swamps and the mountains, because I love the rainy ones and I love the snowy ones. And yet, here I am not actually playing all that much of red or black in standard, so, you know, win some, lose some. Crack on in. Draw a card for free. Okay. 4 toughness. I do think 4 toughness is a really big threshold, from what I've been seeing. It's very tough for some decks to deal with, but... a couple of times in Historic Brawl a while ago, I have not gotten around to doing that, in a standard game in the past month, so... But it's fun. I like anything that's stealing from the opponent. The Monodork. The titular Monodork? Okay. Probably ditch the Purveyor. Oh man. I always hate when I switch decks and then run up against the one that I was just playing and go, well, I'm about to get stomped. No, I actually, back when AFR was still a thing, it was not good, but I had a lot of fun playing with a rogue class deck in Standard, and just not casting my spells in favor of casting their spells. Ugh. Beaten by my own well, their Thalia, but... pain. Wow, I never noticed that this battlefield had trees made out of sinew. That's deeply upsetting to look at. Thank you, Phyrexians. You bring us so much joy. Flash Gorger could gain me life. I think it probably ends up getting Cathard though, so I'd rather play out a blocker. Then I'm more okay with getting the Cathar, and then following up with the Flash Gorger. Like, if this survives, I'm still okay. If it doesn't survive, I'm more okay with it not surviving than I am with Flash Gorger not. I don't think I've been that... I think that's more clever than I'm often managing to be, but that's very much in the realm of the type of stuff I'm thinking. Man, now I'm just realizing, I don't think I've ever actually consumed Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Which feels like a crying shame. Yeah, I think I do Flesh Gorger at this point. Back in high school, when we were doing our Shakespeare units, I instead... one of the classes got to do... yeah, I think I block with the heavy. One of the classes got to do Julius Caesar. My class ended up doing Merchant of Venice, which... still a great play, but... missing out on some of the very, very timely cultural discourse of looking at the classical era. So many errands. I think I just try and lay down another blocker. I guess I could go for the Errant's Throat, but I'm more worried about an Adeline, so I want to keep it for that, so I guess probably Preacher and try and keep him nervous. I mean, this is not a pleasant board to be staring down. I did not. I did at one point consider trying to learn Latin, because I naively went, oh, well, that will pretty much just let me speak all of the Romance languages, right? But going back and trying to learn Spanish right now, so at least it helps me figure out some of the roots. I've also spent some time in Italy. Got a part of a hiking group that is associated with some Italian hiking groups, so been that way since I was very young, so also picked up some from just absorbing some Italian media and talking to a lot of Italians, but... and yet somehow most of the Italian I know is sono gettono pesce, they throw fish. Don't ask me why. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. I think I still need to save the Go for the Throat. Next turn, though, or this turn, I get to Virtue. And that actually makes me relatively okay to block with the Flesh Gorger and trade, because then it comes back bigger. I do, in fact, like Spain. Although I could really stand to learn a lot more about the country while I'm learning about the language. They still haven't done a great deal of that. It was mostly... oh, there's the Cathar. Oh. They have lethal? That's 8. 11. Yep, they've got lethal. Darn. Yes, I should have gone for its throat. I had a thought. No, I'm mostly doing it on Duolingo, which I know is not the best way to learn a language, but just trying to be more consistently exposing myself. I've got a reasonable amount of German, not conversant in it, but took enough classes of it and know a little bit more about the culture. Dabbled in some Japanese and whatnot. I'm at this like weird point where I'm a serial language trier and terrible at actually sitting down and learning one in depth. But hoping to change that with Spanish and then work on some others. I've got like a little bit of Irish, a little bit of Russian. Trying to learn the Arabic alphabet a bit. I'm not a polyglot, I'm a polynot. Oh, on French? That's lovely. It's the sheer number of vowels confuses me, but it sounds very pretty when people speak it. It would also it would let you, it would give you some access to some interesting places in, like, Southeast Asia and Africa that you could speak with folks, which I think would be pretty awesome. Ah, very fair. Trying to think what I actually know. I don't know much about the more sort of Nordic languages. That's honestly most of what I've got for that. There's a lovely webcomic called Stand Still Stay Silent. I forget which country the author is from, but it's sort of a post-apocalyptic. There's been some sort of sickness that spread around quite a bit, but Iceland is mostly okay because they're able to shut down, and then bits of Finland, Denmark, and Sweden, because over there's you know, there's geographically you're a lot better set up than most of the world to shut things down, so that's basically what most of the known world becomes, and she's got a really great way of handling, like, the language. If there's a language barrier, she just, like, denotes which one's being spoken with the flag and the bubble. So, I guess all that is to say, don't know much Danish, but seems like a cool language. I love a lot of the stuff that's over there. Man, I got real distracted and really should have cut down that Malcolm, shouldn't I? Confuse the opponent. Stand Still, Stay Silent. It wrapped up a year or two ago, I think, because it's got some, like, pagan overtones to it, and the author became sort of a born-again Christian. It's still up to the best of my knowledge, but she wrapped it up and is trying to distance herself from it. That's actually, let me pull it up. Let me see if I can link it to you in chat. Stand Still, Stay Silent. The art is absolutely gorgeous. There we go. Highly recommend checking it out if you enjoy some good Nordic pagan world has gone crazy type stuff. There's one, she does a lot of like world building, kind of like in the field sketch work of some of the monsters and such in it, and just some of the like promotional materials for the various organizations running. And there's one page that she did of a linguistic tree, family tree, and it's I've got that particular bit of art bookmarked because it's so gorgeous and so good. Thirst for discovery. And the terror. All right. I almost reflexively tried to go for that one's throat, even though it's got ward. Hopefully Sheoldred can take care of it, though. Sweet. Take down heavy, even though they will always choose the option that's best for them. I feel like both options make me quite happy. So I can Sheoldred... Is it target? Yes, it is a target. So probably just want to go for the throat instead. Kill the haughty Jin. And then hopefully that shuts down any counter magic they may or may not have. Take out one of the terrors. Lets us smack in with Sheoldred. And I feel comfortable swinging with pretty much everything else as well, because it either has Menace or Death Touch. Honestly, yeah. Like the hairstyle. Got a wonderful, very large chest window. Right? I mean, hey, it wants you to. I mean, it's... it's showing them off for the world to see. I mean, like, I just flip Sheoldred, kill the Jin. Right? Okay. And then probably animate Foundry. I could get out the Knight, but I don't think they're gaining life, and just pump out the damage. Vampires for Sirens. The classic battle, who would win? Lots of draw. They're going with the flow. Alright. Probably should have played the other Foundry. Doi. But smack on in. Yes, okay. You make the correct choice. Bat you. Okay. I'll get it back next turn, though. The Jinn. Murder. Well, diet murder. The counterspell? Oh no. On the bright side, we will have plenty of blockers. Actually, oh, Shoulder comes back in and just kills it. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Shieldred is terrifying. Yeah, wow. That feels, man. But that's what happens if your Mythic Saga goes through the entire loop. Jeez. Oh man. I think I will do one last game before I go cook up some pancakes for some folks that are over. But after I sign off for that, I will be back later today in about 3-ish hours playing some Night in the Woods if you want to watch me play through a game that I have been fully spoiled on, but have not actually played through myself, and it's got gorgeous art style, great story, and just something that I've been meaning to get around to. But focus on the magic, try and win this last game. Alright, let's see what you're doing. Dreamroot Cascade. Oh. Oh no, okay. So this is the squirming one, I have to imagine. Yes, with May, exactly. Little bassist cat that goes off to college and then goes home and tries to figure out her life. Definitely not something I relate to on some level. Although, man, I wish I could play bass. Played around with singing, but that's the closest I ever get to an instrument, and even that I still need to work on a lot more. So, Squirming Emergence is at 1, 2, 3, 4... Goodbye Volcano High. I am not familiar with that one. I think... Man, I want to... I guess they're going to get to Virtue something anyway, so probably do just play Shouldered. Oh, interesting. Goodbye Volcano High, you said? Oh wow, okay. I'll have to take a look at that. More of a visual novel, gotcha. So I do need to actually try and play some visual novels. I'm going to be... I tinker on and off with game development, and I've got a friend who has a concept for something a little, like, interactive visual novel-esque that they want to be doing, so want to take a peep at some and get some ideas for trying to help them execute on their idea. And that's part of why I'm trying to work on my art, because I need to go back to the basics and figure out stuff like, hey, how does one draw a book? Because I've learned the short and dirty tricks for it, but not how to actually visualize it as prisms within prisms, squares within squares. But yeah, so that's I think my plan is I want to play through Night in the Woods, and then I'll probably after that be tackling Undertale, because I am probably one of very, very few people who has pretty much no clue what goes on in that, other than at some point you fight Sans and have a really boppin' soundtrack in the form of Megalovania. But I've never actually gone through it, and I think that is something I need to fix. Yeah, you know, it's things that I've been aware of and have felt I should play for a number of years and just have not managed to bring myself to. Okay. What does squirming get back? Probably a virtue. I think I'm okay with that. I think I need to take the triumph. Lisa the Trilogy. Also not familiar. Giving me lots of good things I need to find out what they are. Lisa the Trilogy. Lisa the Painful. Oh, that's a gorgeous looking art style just from the couple of images pulling up. Okay. I like things with sort of wastelandy vibes. It's actually, I think my favorite show of all time is this little anime called Girls' Last Tour. I've only been able to find it on Amazon Prime, but it's just two young gals that they drive like little half track. You know, they've got little military outfits that it's never fully explained. Oh, someone else who's, oh my gosh, I'm so used to having to convert people. You've watched, oh yay. That's so cool. Based on your reaction, I take you enjoy it. Same. That's as soon as I finished watching it, I went, I need to read, because I heard that there was a little bit of content past it, and oh man, the way they ended off with that poem is so good. It's so good, so soft, and so crushing. Yeah, man. Oh, that's so fun. Absolutely. That's I feel like a lot of the shows that manage to get that like bittersweet melancholy are really good at doing it in a way that helps you kind of gently tackle some of your own things that resonate with it. That's part of why I love Violet Evergarden in a very similar sort of vibe. And one that I'm working through that I recently managed to find the actual like manga with an English translation that, from what I had read, did not exist outside of fan ones, but apparently it does. It's, Yokohama Shopping Log. It's about like a little android gal that runs a cafe in Japan after something's happened where not everything has gone into the apocalypse really, but like the sea levels are rising and everything's just kind of not fully functioning, but it's just kind of a calm, soft apocalypse. I think that's another one that does a really good job of stuff like that. I'm so happy to meet someone who actually knows what I'm talking about without me having to sit them down and have them watch the show. Okay, so Henrika could pump... Actually, she can also pump Sholdred. Not enough. I can only double pump. And then they would get back cards, so not a great idea. But I think I'm fine attacking with her and Sholdred. Alright, and they just throw under the bus in a pretty normal fashion because they can get it back. I don't think I want to Takenuma because then they might grab some of my stuff. They are going to get a Titan of Industry though, so I'm not sure if I've got something better than that. So maybe I do just Takenuma. Ooh, yes. I haven't watched as many of those or read as many, but I really loved Way of the House Husband, I think it was, is just sort of like a little, feels almost more like a string of Saturday morning cartoon-esque vignettes that, yeah, things that have that sort of clashing, funny, it's gangster, but also very much not. So anything in that vein that you're like, yes, this is amazing, ship it my way. I will devour it ravenously. Like, okay, they've got a full hand, the Atrax is terrifying. But I do have an Anthem and a number of threats. Yeah. But you know, I've got them. They exist. And hey, you know, look, that's extra damn. Oh. Oh. Well, that was their free spell, so I can ditch the bats. And then I probably ditch the Sholdred? I think I ditched the Sholdred because I've got the backup one. If I get a kill spell, I win. And if I don't, I can swing in. Wait, no, shoot, do I just win? Because I can... No, because there's lifelink. Damn it. I was so excited for a moment because I'm like, oh, yo, I'll get through for 7. Because I can double pump. And still, you know, maybe they make a mistake. No. Okay. Can only do 1. We trigger once. We take them down to 2. No, wait, no. Oh, wow. I hate when I do that, when I think I've already accounted for something, but I most certainly haven't. So then, we'll play one more black spell for our daily, and say goodbye. Yeah, the Squirming Emergence deck looks mighty fun to me, but it certainly is not fun on the other end of it. Yep, I know, I got so excited for a moment. But I think that's going to do it for me for today for Magic. I will be back on in a little bit for the Night in the Woods, about 2.5 hours. But I'm going to wrap it up, make some pancakes, and see y'all later. Thank you for popping in. It was fun talking to folks. Have a lovely rest of your day in case I don't see you again. Bye.